The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 5 and 6, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on October 15th, 1975, in Durban, South Africa.
Jayasana Mahitam Jayasana Mahito Jiva Atmanam Trigunamakam Paropi Manute Anatha Tatkritam Chavipaddate. So our present position is like this, that Chanamohita, bewildered, puzzled by Maya. We are eternal, part and parcel of God, but on account of being enchanted by this material energy or external energy of God, we have forgotten ourselves and we are now entangled. We have forgotten our goal of life. Nate vidu sartha gatim hi Vishnu durashayaji vahirathamanina. The conditioned soul means the living being, the spirit soul, who is conditioned by these laws of material nature. The laws of material nature is that you have to accept a certain type of body according to your propensity. We create propensity, and Krishna is so kind that he gives you the facility. All right. Just like the tiger, he wants to suck blood, or any man, if he wants to suck blood, then he will give the facility of a tiger's body. If a person has no discrimination in eating, whatever is available he can eat, then he will be given facility of become a pig. Up to stool he can eat. So, this is stated very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishara sarvabhutana riddese arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani jantrarudhani maya. This is very significant. Jantrarudhani maya. We are riding on a machine. This body is a machine. But we are accepting machine as myself. This is called Sanamohita, bewildered. If you are running on a car, if you think I am the car, and it is foolishness, similarly, I have got this jantra, machine, body, and it is running on account of my presence, or I am driving, or Krishna is giving me intelligence how to drive. But if I identify myself with this body, exactly like a policeman, he is driving the car, and if he identifies himself with the car, he is a policeman. So this is called Sanmohita. Jaya Sanmohita Jiva. Therefore, the example as I was citing yesterday, last night, that we do not see the driver, and when the driver goes away, then we see that the car is not moving. And then I can understand, oh, the driver, my father or my son, has gone away. We sometimes cry, my father has gone away or my son has gone away. But because we are sanamohita, we actually never saw the father and the son. We accepted this coat pant body as father and son. This is called sanmoha. Beware. Yada sanamahita jiva. Atmanam, the spiritual Atmanam, Trigunatmakam. This body is Trigunatmakam. The body is made according to the modes of material nature. Karanam gunasangasya. Everything is very clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. This is further development. The Bhagavad Gita, if you understand Bhagavad Gita, and if you actually surrender to Krishna, the last word of Krishna is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam. If you actually understand Bhagavad Gita, this will be the result. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Tattva sadharmam charanambujam hare. Sadharma, Krishna says, sarvadharman parityajya. So that means every one of us, dharma means occupational duty. That is dharma. Characteristic. So, Krishna orders, sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam. If we accept it, in my sentiment, that is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Tattva sadharmam charanambujam hare. Patet tatu jadi bhajanna pakota. Narada Muni says that if somebody, in my sentiment, all right, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya, let us stop any other business, become Krishna conscious. If one accepts by sentiment, not thoroughly understand, he is also fortunate. He is also fortunate because he accepts the real thing. Therefore Narada Muni said that in one accepting by sentiment and later on bhajanna pakotha, his execution of devotional service not mature and he falls down, then Narada Muni said, Jatra kuba abhadra bhuta muske. When is the loss for that person? On the other hand, the other person who has not accepted this is very regularly executing his material responsibility. What does he gain by that? This is the if Krishna consciousness is accepted even by sentiment, and after that, even if falls down, there is no loss. And if we are very faithful to our material duties, then Narada says, what do you gain by that? So this is a very important thing. We do not gain anything. We gain only another body. Again beginning chapter, the same struggle for existence. And that also, there is no guarantee. According to our karma, we shall have to accept the body. Karanam gunasangasya. As we associate, just like we develop a certain type of disease, as we contaminate the germ, if you contaminate the bearers of smallpox, then you have to suffer from smallpox. Nature's law is so strict. You cannot avoid it. If you have been attacked by the mosquito carrying malaria germ, then you have to suffer from malaria. The karanam gunasangas, as we take precaution that I may not be attacked with malaria or smallpox or this or that, so many we take precaution. Similarly, we have to be very precautious for our next body. If we become precautious, then there is chance of being promoted. urdham gachanti sattasva. If you keep yourself in the sataguna, the Brahminical qualification, sama, dhamma, titikya, arjava, sattam, saucham, jnanam, vijnanam, astikam, brahma karma, sabhava. Similarly, there are Kshatriya qualities, there are Vaishya qualities, there are Shudra qualities, and there are Shudradham qualities, less than the Shudra quality. So, in any quality, in any position, even by sentiment, tattva sadharmam, charanam bhujambar, if you take to Krishna consciousness, that is the greatest property. From any position, it doesn't matter whether in which position he is, either he is on the Brahmin position, or Kshatriya position, or Vaishya position, or Shudra position, or Chandal position. That is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Man hi patha vyapasritya jepishu papajoni. Papajoni, lower class, very, very lower class. Papajoni, their description in the Shastra. Kirata hunanda pulinda pukkasa abhira sambha javana kasadaya. This Papajani, these black, they are also considered Papajani. But for everyone, Krishna consciousness is open. Kirata hunanda pulinda. Hun, Kirata, Andhra, Pulinda, Pukkasa, Abhira, Sambha, Javana, Kasadaya, Mongolia. Those who do not develop mostages, Kasada. General Papa. And lower than that, Jadupa, Sraya, if he takes sincerely the center of the lotus feet of Krishna or his devotee, Jadupa, Sraya, Suddhanti, he becomes purified. There is no I am to say bar for anyone. In the Bhagavad Gita, the same thing is confirmed. Man hipata vyapasritya jepishu papajonaya triyavasya satha sudra teti jati para. So Krishna consciousness is so nice. If we take to it as our goal of life, then our life is successful. Otherwise, Jayasana mahita jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. We shall continue the life of changing this body. That we have to do. We cannot be independent. Prakritakriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimuratma. If we think that we are independent, that is due to our ignorance. We are not independent. Prakritakriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimura. He is simply sanmohita by false prestige. He is not independent at all. We should always remember this. We are dependent on the laws of nature. We cannot say now we have invented some scientific discovery. We shall not going to die. That is not possible. You must die. That is the law of nature. You must die, you must take birth also, and you must be diseased, and you must suffer from old age. These are the 4 disadvantages of material existence. So if we want to get out, this is anartha. That will be explained in the next part. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam madhukhaji lokasya ajanata vidyan chakre sattata samhita. This Srimad Bhagavatam is sattata samhita, spiritual knowledge. It has nothing to do with anything material. Simply spiritual knowledge. So, vidyan means they must learn and bear this, not ordinary. Srimad Bhagavati Mahamani Krite. He is Mahamuni. Muni means thoughtful philosopher, and he is Mahamuni. He is greater than any thoughtful philosopher. VedaBase. His name is VedaBase. VedaBase means he compiled all these Vedic literature. And at last he summarized the whole Vedic knowledge into Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra, a small aphorism. Janmadasya jata athato brahma jigyasa anandamaya abhyasa. Well, a short aphorism, and it has got very deep meaning. That is Vedanta. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is commentary on the Vedanta Sutra by the author himself, under the instruction of his Guru, Narada. Therefore we began this, that according to the advice of Narada Muni, that you write about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we began this. Bhakti yogena manasi sammak pranite amale avasyak purusham purnam maya chajadada. By Bhakti Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga. But about Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Hata Yoga and other yogas, there are descriptions. But at last Krishna advises that the most confidential part of knowledge, I am speaking to you, Arjuna, is sarvadharman purityajya mamekam saranam. This is real. So this is Bhakti Yoga. To surrender unto the Supreme Lord, that is Bhakti Yoga. So here Vasudev began his realization. Bhakti yogena manasi sammak pranite amale. By Bhakti Yoga, you can cleanse your mind without any contamination. Immediately. If you want to be liberated from the contamination of material existence, or material modes of nature, then immediately you take to Bhakti Yoga. That is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Man chabhya vicharini bhakti yogena jasevate sarunam samatitayena brahma bhuyaya galva. You want to realize yourself as Brahma. We are Brahma. There is no doubt about it. But we have no realization because sanmohita, jaya sanmohita, the Maya has captured us. So, immediately if you want to be liberated, mukti means mukti hitya annatha rupam. Mukti hitya annatha rupam sarupena avastiti. This is mukti. Sarup, or sarup is our spiritual life. When we give up other activities, annatha, which is not spiritual, material activities, that is not our actual business. Actual business is spiritual activity. Material activity means this body. To keep this body in comfortable position. And the body is changing. Now, today I am Indian. I am very great Indian leader or very good philanthropist. Now, tomorrow or the next life, I may not be Indian, I may be Chinese, or I may be European. Then my whole business program shifts. Again another nationality, another feeling. In this way, and if I become cats and dogs, then another mentality. This is going on. So, I am forgetting that mind identification is spiritual, aham brahmasmi, and I am accepting all these unnecessary things. Anartha. Say anartha. If you want to stop this anartha, if you want to keep yourself in your original position of spiritual identity, then you have to take to bhakti yoga. This is the conclusion of the Shastra.
Next is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 7th Chapter, Text number 5, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 4th, 1976, in Vrindavan, India.
Jaya sanmohita jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi munute anartham tatkritam cha vipaddate. That they saw three things: the Jivatma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Maya. Maya means what is not, Maya. So that Maya begins from what is not. I am not this body, but I am thinking I am this body. This is Maya. I am not this body, that's a fact, but I am thinking I am this body. This is Maya. This is the beginning of Maya. This is the conception of the animals, less than human beings. Nowadays, even a human being, he is also thinking like that. This is anartha. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita lesson to impress Arjuna, you are not this body. Tatha dehantra prapti, so many ways. So this is anartha. To accept this body and in bodily relationship, everything, aham mameti, this is Maya. But this is anartha. Anartha means meaningless. No artha. Artha means meaning. So if you want to stop this anartha, misconception of life, then you have to take to bhakti yoga. It is explained in the next part. But for the time being, we are misled. The Maya or the material nature is misleading us. We are trying to adjust things according to the dictation of Maya, that we shall be able to stop our struggle for existence in this way and that way. That is not possible. Daividjesha gunamai mama maya durataya. If you make some plan, you can make plans, but that plan will never be successful. This is by false understanding, we may make hundreds and thousands of plans to be happy in this material world. That is not possible. This is therefore called sanmohita virya. Jaya sanmohita jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. Atmanam, himself, he is thinking that he is a material product. Triguna, sataraja tamagun. Somebody is thinking, I am a very good man, I am a very honest man, I am a very qualified man. That is also false identification. and somebody is thinking that I can do this, I can do that, I am so powerful, who is equal to me? Passion. That is also Maya's dictation. And somebody is lazy, sleeping, does not understand anything, tamoguna. That is also Triguna, within this Triguna. So within this material world, either the good man or the passionate man or the ignorant man, there may be some differences, gunavata, but actually every one of them is entangled by Maya. So, to come to the spiritual platform, as it is said in the next verse, anartha upasamam saksha bhakti yogam adukhaje. Then you have to take bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means directly contact the Supreme Lord, adukhaje. And that has been described in many places. The process, how to be in contact with the adukhaja, that is called dharma. In every country, in every human society, there is a conception of dharma, religion. So what is the purpose? The purpose is to contact the supreme authority, adukhaja. We cannot see adukhaja. Adukhaja means beyond our sense perception. Abhaja, abha means eyes, and abha means all to cure. So our knowledge, our experience, experimental knowledge, everything will fail to understand the supreme controller. Therefore his name is adukhaja. And still you have to understand that. That is recommended here. Anartha avasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adukhaje lokasya ajanata vidyan chakre sartata samvita. People do not know it. How to become transcendental to this material conception of life, and how to contact the Supreme Controller, adukhaja. That is the only way is recommended, not recommended, it is the fact. Bhakti yogam, only by bhakti yoga. There is no other. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is stated, bhaktya mam avijanati javan jaschami tattata. If you want to know adukhaja, that is the real purpose of religion. Religion is not a type of ritualistic ceremony, that is external. Real fact is how to contact the adukhaja, who is beyond our material concept. But bhakti yoga, if you take to bhakti yoga, then it is possible. Anartha, then anartha will be cleansed. Things which are not wanted. Our life is meant for understanding God. This is human life. Athata brahma jigyasa. Human life is meant for this purpose. The animals, they are jigyasa. They are jigyasa inquiry. There are many, many inquiries and answers also. Just like we see in the newspaper. So many news, unlimited number of news. But there is no news of how to understand God. There is no news. This is Amam. So, Lokasya jana. They have no information. Because they are animals, the animal has no information, neither he has got capacity to understand what he is, what is his relationship with God. what she has to do, sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. The whole Vedic principles are based on these three principles. Sambandha. Sambandha means relations. Everyone says there is God, but what is God and what is our relationship with God? That is to be understood. Sambandha. Then as soon as relationship is understood, then our real activity begins. That real activity is called bhakti. And the material activities, which is not bhakti, that is maya. Therefore in the Bhagavad it is said, dharma sanustita pumsa vishaksena kathasuja mutpada egrati nidiri samayeva hi kevalam. You may be a very religious person executing the ritualistic ceremonies very nicely, very expertly. But if you do not know adhokhaja, Vishaksena is another name of Krishna. If you do not become anxious to understand Athata Brahma Jigyasa, then all these ritualistic ceremony of religion, of different types of religion, Sramaeva Jiteva, simply waste of time. The Jnanis, they are simply trying to understand. No, you can go on understanding, but if you do not come to the understanding avideya, now avideya is acting actually, sambandha is understanding. If you do not come to the platform of acting, avideya, then simply understanding will not help you. And acting also with the aim to achieve. So that has been explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is an aim? Prema pumartha maha. That is what. That is what. You have to develop your natural love for God, Krishna. Then it is perfect. Therefore, anartha upasamam, as soon as we come to this stage, how to love Krishna, then our all anarthas, misgivings, are finished. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogamadakkati. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Lokasya, they are rascal schools, ajanata, they do not know, nothing vidu, sarthakatin Vishnu. Everyone is trying to adjust things materially, that is not possible. Materially, whatever you do, Maya is so strong that it will break everything. Prakriti kirmanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Ahankara vimuratma kartaham. He does not know. Ahankara vimuratma, those who are carried by the material egotism, they cannot understand. They are thinking that by material adjustment, everything will be done nicely. No, that is not possible. Therefore, lokasya janata, these foolish persons, they do not know it. Therefore, vidya, vidwan, Vyasdev is the most vidwan, is giving bid. Bid the vidagyani. Bid means knowledge. Van means one position. Vidwan. That is Vyasdev. He knows actual knowledge. So, lokasya janata vidyan chakre satata sangita. Sangita means Vedic knowledge. And satata means eternal or for the devotees. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for persons who want to finish this life of anartha, meaningless life. For them is Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasdev has given us we should study very carefully, and we have tried to give each and every word's meaning and the translation and the purport, and consulting all the big acharyas, Acharyavan Purusha Veda, one who is following the footsteps of the Acharya, he knows everything. That is explained everywhere, evam parampara praptam, by the Acharyas. We don't create any meaning. Acharyavan, one has to accept a bona fide spiritual master and take knowledge from him. Vidwan means who is following Vidwan. I have given this example many times, that I may be a fool, but if I have learned from a person that this is called microphone, so a child, if he says this is microphone, that is correct. Because the child is fool, when he says this is microphone, that is not foolish, because he has heard it from the authorities, from his father or from his teacher, and this is called microphone. And if he says correctly that this is microphone, that statement is correct, although he may be a child, a fool. Similarly, Acharyaman Purusha Veda, anyone who is following Acharya, whatever he says, it is correct. Because he does not manufacture. He says what he has heard from the Acharya, exactly like the child, what he has heard from his father, from the superior, he speaks. So that is the position of Guru. Guru is respected as good as God. Why? Only for this quality, that he does not speak anything nonsense. He speaks only what he has heard from the Acharya. Acharyaman Purusha Veda. Acharya Upasanam. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Acharya Upasanam. So, Vyasdev is our Acharya, therefore we offer Vyas Puja. On the birthday of Guru, we offer Vyas Puja. Actually, it is not directly Vyas, but because the bona fide Guru represents Vyasdev, his puja is also Vyas Puja. Mad bhaktya puja abhadika. To worship Vyasdev, worship the bona fide spiritual master, and worship the Lord, they are the same. Rather, Krishna says that if you worship his bona fide representative, that worship is better than directly worshipping. Directly it is not possible to worship the Supreme Lord. One has to go through the Acharya. Therefore Vyasdev is the original Acharya. Lokasya janata vidyan chakri sata vidyan. So we have explained many times how to become Vidwan. Vidwan does not mean one has to become a big grammarian, logician, no. Vidwan means one who follows the previous Acharya, who is representative of Krishna. He is Vidwan. Thank you.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 8, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 7, 1976, in Vrindavan, India.
Sasanghita Bhagavatim Krityano Kramma Atmajam Sukam Adhyapayamasa Nivitti Niyatanamani. So, this Sanghita means Vedic literature. There are many rascals, they say that Bhagavad was not written by Vyasa. It was written by some Bopudev. They say like that. Mayavadis. The Nirisharvadi. Because although Nirisharvadi or Mayavadi leader Shankaracharya, he wrote comments on Bhagavad Gita, but he could not touch Srimad Bhagavatam. Because in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the things are so nicely set up, Chittanukrama, that it is not possible by the Mayavadis to prove that God is impersonal. They cannot do it. Nowadays they are reading Bhagavatam in their own way, but that does not appeal to any sane man. Sometimes I have seen a big Mayavadi is explaining one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that because you are God, therefore, if you are pleased, then God is pleased. This is that. You do not require to please God separately. So if you are pleased by drinking wine, then God is pleased. This is the explanation. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has condemned this Mayavadi commentary. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Mayavadi bhasya sunile hoy sarvana. Mayavadi Krishna aparadhi. He has plainly said, no compromise. The Mayavadis, they are great offender to Krishna. Tanaham disata krurang, Krishna also says. They are very, very envious to Krishna. Krishna is Dibhuj Muralidha, Samasundar. And the Mayavadi explains that Krishna has no hand, no leg. This is all imagination. How much offensive it is, they do not know. But to warn people like us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has plainly warned that don't go to Mayavadi. Mayavadi bhasya sunile hoy sarvana. Mayavadi hoy Krishna aparadhi. This is the statement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you should be very, very careful. Don't go to hear any Mayavadi. There are many Mayavadis in the dress of Vaishnava. See, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained about them that evo to ek kolir chala, nake tilak golaye mala. That here is a follower of Koli, although he has got a tilak on the nose and neck beads, but he is a Koli chala. If he is Mayavadi, সহজ ভজন করছে মামু সঙ্গে লয়ে পরের বালা. So these things are there. You have come to Vrindavan. Be careful, very careful. Mayavadi bhasya sune. There are many Mayavadis here. many so-called tilak mala, but they do not know what is there inside. But great acharyas, they can find out. Sruti Puranadi Pancharatri ki vidijmina Vaikanti ki Harer Bhakti Utpataya Vakalpate. They create disturbance. Therefore, we have to follow the Goswamis. Goswami literature, especially Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have translated in the Nectar of Devotion. Every one of you should very carefully read and make progress. Don't be victimized by the Mayavadi so-called Vaishnava. It is very dangerous. Therefore it is said, Sasanghita Bhagavatim Kittanukrama Atmajam. It is very confidential subject matter. He taught it, instructed to Sukadeva Goswami. Atmajam is like father, like son. There is no difference between son and disciple. Janaka Pandit has equalized. Tasmat sisyancha putrancha klarayat natu lalayat. Lalani bahavo dosha, slarani bahavo guna. That is the Vedic system to teach the son and teach the disciple. If one cannot teach the son is disobedient, he should give up his family life. Otherwise, a father is in obligation to teach the son properly. But if it is not possible, sometimes it so happens, as family members, they do not take care. Otherwise, a Vasudev son is expected to become Sukadeva Goswami. If not, such families, connections should be given them. Anukulla sankalpa, pratikullam vivarjanam. Family life, if it is favorable for advancing Krishna consciousness, it should be accepted. Otherwise, it should be rejected. Anukulla sankalpa, pratikullam vivarjanam. So, what was the qualification of Sukadeva Goswami, which induced Vasudev to teach him the Samhita? Sukamadha payamasa nivitti niratam. He has no more attraction for material world. That is the question. Nivitti. There are two kinds of life, nivitti and pravitti. Pravitti means materialistic, kurmis. Generally kurmis. They have got tendency to enjoy this material world. That is called pravitti. Pravitti marga. Pravitti is pravitti is natural inclination. Anyone who has come to this material world, pravitti ishan bhutana, everyone is in the pravitti marga. What is that pravitti marga? The pravitti marga is these things: sex, meat eating, intoxication, like that. This is pravritti. Pravrittireshang bhutana nirvittesu mahaphala. So the whole Vedic literature is there how to make him stop this pravritti marga. That is the whole plan. Otherwise, there are many instances, Loki bhavayami samuddha seva nityastu jantu. Nitya, a jantu, he is called jantu. Jantu means animal, or no intelligence. Those who are jantu, they have got this tendency, pravrittirisha. What is that? Bhavayami samuddha seva. Sex and meat eating, amisha, meat, egg, fish, and madda, intoxication. This is pravritti. Loke bhavaya means sex. Amisha madda seva. Nityastu jantu. Jantu means living being, condition in the material world. They have got this general tendency, pravritti. You find in animals, in birds, in beasts, and beastly human being, two-legged beast. There are four-legged beasts and two-legged beasts. Four-legged beasts are the animals, cats, dogs, tigers, etc. Cows, asses, they are four-legged beasts. And there are two-legged beasts, dipad motion. It is not manufactured, it is there in the Sagar. Dipad posh. Di means two. And pod means legged. So, any human being who is attached to this pravritti marga, sex, meat eating, intoxication, gambling, he is dipad posh. Two-legged animals. This is pravritti marga. Therefore, education should be in such a way planned that he should be nivitti marga. Pravrittireshang bhutana nivittestu mahaphalam. These are general tendencies for the conditioned soul. But if anyone can control by training, by education, these things, bhavayami samuddha seva, sex life, intoxication, and meat eating, then he is called nirata. He becomes qualified. The Vyasdev preferred to teach Srimad Bhagavatam to his son, Sukadeva Goswami, because he was nirata, nivitti, nirata, yes, engaged. From the very beginning of his life, as soon as he was, it is said, for 16 years within the womb of his mother, he did not come out purposefully so that he may not be materially attached. Because a small child, the baby comes out from the mother's womb. Within the womb, when he is in suffering, he prays to God. This time kindly release me. Now I shall begin Bhagavad Bhajan. One who is little advanced in his previous life, because it is very, very terrible condition within the womb of the mother. We have forgotten. But we can imagine if you are packed up in a bag and put hands and legs tightly knotted. Just imagine, you cannot live in for 3 minutes. They say, if you are airtight packed up like that, as we are put into the womb of the mother, we cannot exist more than 3 minutes. But we existed. by the mercy of Krishna. Only by the mercy. That is also nowadays very dangerous. In that packed up condition, he is there, he is already suffering. And the mother is planning to go to the doctor and kill the child. Just imagine how precarious condition in the womb of the mother, and if we do not try in this life that I shall not again enter into the womb of the mother, then what is the value of this life? We have to learn it from the Shastra. You cannot see actually, but the medical science explains that the child is placed in this way. In Bhagavad also it is stated how the child grows his body, how it is put into that precarious condition. So one should be senseful that so much suffering awaiting. Tatha dehantara prapti, and Krishna says, you have to accept that body. Not that death is finished. They have made it a very easy formula, that after death everything is finished. Because they are rascals, they do not take lesson from Krishna. Krishna says, Tatha dehantara prapti, dhiras tattva namayati. You have to change your body. But these rascals, they do not know what kind of body I am going to get, how the body is going to be changed. No, don't care. What? Mura janmani janmani. Mura janisi. They do not even try to understand where from so many varieties of life are coming. Jalayanam lakhani savara lakharim. And still they are passing on as scientists. What science? It is only ignorance. If you have to study science, you have to take it from Krishna. Krishna says, Tatha dehantara prapti. Prakita kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. According to your guna, you are creating your next body. Just like according to the infection of a certain disease, you are creating a future disease condition. Similarly, Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, there are three kinds of the modes of material nature. And as you associate with the three kinds of material nature, you prepare your next body. That is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Urdham gachanti sattasva. If you associate with Satagun, then you are promoted to the higher planetary system. Janalok, Mahalok, Tapalok. But these rascals, they do not know. Still, they make an estimate. And what is that estimate? Wherever they go, they find only rocks and sand. There are so many lokas. Each loka is full of living entities, and these rascals are simply taking photograph of rocks and sand. Just see their position, and they're passing on as scientists. How misleading these things are, and how people are being misled. You see. So, it's a very Kalijuga, it's a very precarious condition, no knowledge, ignorance, and no nivitti, everyone is in pravitti. So, whatever their condition may be, but if you want actually freedom from this material conditional life, then you should follow Acharya. Acharyavan Purusa. Acharya Upasanam. Krishna is personally acting as Acharya. He is coming again as Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has got so many representatives, Acharya. Sri Ramanucharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbaka, Vishnu Swami, so many Acharya. Evam parampara praptam So take lesson from the Acharya. Sukadeva Goswami is Acharya. Vyasdev is Acharya. He is making the next Acharya by teaching him. Adhyapayamasa, Sukam Adhyapayamasa, so that he is becoming Acharya. So we have to go to the Acharya and take lesson. Then, in the previous part, we are advised that Sangvai Syamanana Krishne Parama Purushe Bhakti Rutpaddati Pumsa Shoka Moho Bhayapa. This is one. We are always perplexed with Shoka Moho and Bhaya. If you want to get out of it, then read Srimad Bhagavatam. Not if you say that I am uneducated, illiterate, I cannot read. There is no need of reading. Here, the Sangvai Syamanana. Simply hear, but hear from the right person, Sukadeva Goswami, not rascals, professionals. Then it will be useless. Yes, why? Anyone knows some grammar or little literary education? Why Sukadeva Goswami had no opportunity to go to school? Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, as soon as he took birth, after 16 years keeping himself within the womb of the mother, immediately left home. So where is the possibility of taking education? And he was given instruction while he was in the womb of his mother. So these things are sometimes inconceivable. But it is not inconceivable, it is possible. So our real point is that Sukadeva Goswami was not a grammarian, but he learnt everything from his father by hearing. Therefore it is called Syamananam. If you hear from the right person properly, then you become perfect. There is no need of literary education. Therefore Vedas are called Shruti. Shruti means formally the students, they were learning everything. Their memory was so nice and sharp. But simply by hearing from Guru's mouth, they will learn that the rascals will come henceforward. They will have not very sharp brain, memory. So let me keep this literature in writing so that in future they may take advantage of it, or somebody will read and they will hear. In this way, their life will be successful. So Sukadeva Goswami is the next Acharya. One has to learn from the original Acharya. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsayo vidu. So unless we come to the parampara system, Acharya after Acharya, there is no right education. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's private secretary, personal secretary, Sarup Damodar, he advised, Bhagavat parodya Bhagavata sthane. If you want to learn Srimad Bhagavatam, you go to a person whose life is Bhagavatam. Bhagavata, Grantha Bhagavat and person Bhagavat. Both of them Bhagavat. So Bhagavat parodya Bhagavata sthane. One whose life is Bhagavatam and nothing else. You should learn Bhagavatam from him, not from the professional person who are earning livelihood by reading or reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. That will not be effective. We have to find out like Sukadeva Goswami, then this study of Srimad Bhagavatam will be effective. Thank you very much.